So today is going to be my first day starting a podcast. As you can see, it's in the works, and I wanted to talk about certain things, a lot of things actually. We're going to talk about relationships, gender roles, politics, a lot of things that could probably get me canceled. So I'll make sure to be careful with the words I choose. But this is an unbiased platform, and everyone's opinion counts, even if you're fix on your ways. I'm nobody to tell you how to think, but I would like to use this platform as an open floor. I think it's very important to have uncomfortable conversations when it comes to self-development. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I know everything. I don't. But there are certain things where I learned the hard way, and if I could prevent people from experiencing some of the things I've experienced, I'll be more than willing to share my insight on certain things. So the first thing I want to talk about on this podcast of mine, which I haven't came up with a name, I might just go with Good Vibes because I just got that on Amazon for like $20, so shout out to Amazon. Or I just might call it the Roger Alexander Show. We'll figure it out. But I want to start off talking about today's dating society, men and women. Whether it's men dating men dating women, or women dating women dating men. I think that right now there's, this little perspective on where people are saying, don't date women from the West. And there's women saying, men ain't shit. The reality of it all, and I can speak from experience, is whether you're in America or anywhere else, everybody has trauma. And the reality of it all is sometimes people will put themselves in a position where they don't want to feel. So therefore, they'll monkey branch to that next person. I have friends, who will literally get out of a long relationship just to get into something new the next day, without giving themselves time to actually heal. I've always been the opposite though. I can't jump from one relationship into another. Actually, I'm the opposite. I would stay to myself for a very long time, So I guess what I'm trying to say is, instead of, labeling people because of a bad past or a repetitive past, stop blaming a gender and start taking accountability. Start asking yourself, why do I attract these type of men? Or ask yourself, why do I keep getting the same results with women? So if you're a woman who's dated multiple men, where it's just like all these guys are dogs, ain't shit, deadbeats, or whatever the case is, the reality of it all is this. Men want a chase. The moment that a man finds out that he has a woman that he doesn't have to work for, he's not going to try as hard. And I'll be brutally honest. There might be some men in the comments saying, no, that's wrong, you haven't found the right one. Listen, like I said, I'm very open to feedback. Just in my experience, I'm 35, I have no children, and I have a pretty good income. I did everything I said I was going to do, and I got a lot more work to do. So relationship is not a priority for me right now, unless I meet somebody that makes me feel like lucky. So I like to date here and there, but I don't like to waste people's time. So I tell them up front, how I feel, what my expectations are. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and be like, obey me, because that's not the way relationships work. It takes two. So I know there's certain flaws that I have that I'm willing to work on as well. So I take accountability on a lot of things. So I'm an overthinker. I'm that type of guy where it's like, if I text you and it takes you a whole entire 24 hours to text me, it's like, bro. Like, I have friends who are winning awards on Grammy stages who will text me right back within 10 minutes. So when, I text somebody and they don't text me back for hours, like a whole entire day, it could either mean one of two things. They're not that interested, or they have somebody else in the picture, which is cool with me. But then, there's girls who will text you back 10 seconds later, and depending how you feel about that person, you could entertain it or you could be turned off by it. It's a silly game that nobody talks about, but that's the harsh reality of it all. You never want to look too thirsty. I always told myself, if I have a son one day, I'm going to tell him, in order to get a girl, never show her that you like her more than she likes you. It's a sad truth, but it's the reality of it all. Because, I mean, we watch Disney movies growing up and we think everything's Beauty and the Beast or whatever the case may be. But the reality of it all is majority of relationships fail because of the lack of communication, infidelity, finance, so I guess depending on the age that you are, if you're in your 20s, I guess, have your fun, be careful. But when you get to your 30s, as a man, you don't have a time clock, but you don't want to waste your time either, you know what I mean? And as a female being in your 30s, I mean, if your goal is to have a baby, you want to definitely be as picky as possible. You don't want to bring a baby into this world with a deadbeat, even if he is financially good. You want a family. A lot of women say, oh, we don't need a man, we don't need a man. You're right. You might not need a man, but your children do. And I'll tell you right now, I grew up raised by a single mom. I had a dad. I just didn't see him much. My parents split up when I was in 5th grade. I'm 35 now, so I don't know how old I was when I was in 5th grade. Maybe like 9, I guess, somewhere around there. And I chose to get raised by my mom. And I didn't really see my dad often just because I felt like, I'm going to be there for my mom. She was hurt emotionally. So I felt like I needed to be the man of the house. And that's what I did. I started working in 5th grade, cleaning offices, taking out garbage. So my life was very humbling. But then I got to take a look at what it was to actually see a woman who's a mother in the dating scene. It was unfair. It was sad. Just because as a single mother, I'm not a single mom, but I could speak as the son of one. She's now married happily. But growing up, seeing, my mom wasn't out there like that at all. She's very selective on the men she picks. High value men, gentlemen. But she always had this strong character where it's like, you need to be more manly than I am, or I will emasculate you. Which is actually one of the reasons why I had so many failed relationships, because growing up I started thinking, okay, it's normal for, men to be emasculated. So when I get in a relationship and I'm this sweet gentleman, but I'm getting talked down to, just disrespected, I'm thinking it's okay. This is normal, because I grew up in it. And then one day you get to a point where it's like, this doesn't feel good. And that's what happened for me. I got tired. I got upset. I got drained. I felt less of myself. And I asked myself, why do I feel like this? And I even took the initiative to go to therapy. And my therapist, she's like, you've been trying to date women like your mom. What I mean when I say that is you've been trying to save people. So because of the behavior that she displayed on certain men, I felt like that was normal. So I'm not here to tell guys don't date single moms. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is have empathy. Have patience, have understanding, because they're not talking to you. They're talking from pain that they haven't let go yet. So it's not personal. And I learned, to forgive myself, because I used to put a lot on myself and be like, why am I not good enough? Why I keep getting cheated on? Why do I get talked down to like this? And it's only because I allowed it. The more I experienced it, the more I had self-respect for myself. And there got a point to my life where I had so much self-respect for myself where I don't even entertain it past one date. I'll give you an example. I was born in Brooklyn. I was raised in New Jersey for most of my life. And now I live in Florida. I moved to Florida just because it's beautiful out here. The weather's amazing. And it's just a better lifestyle, honestly speaking. No shade to Jersey. Jersey will always be my home. Brooklyn is my birthplace, but I was really raised in Jersey. But Florida is my new home, and I love it out here. Everyone's nice. And no one's in competition with each other. Everybody actually wants to help each other win, so I shout out to Florida too. But one of the things that I noticed ever since I started dating and changing my my boundaries, because I used to have that mentality where it's kind of like, it's okay, she had a hard day, she didn't mean that. Now I'm in a place where it's like, nah, you're hurt. you need to heal. And hit me up when you're healed, because I don't have to sit here and tolerate that. And sometimes I'll actually just walk away. Like, I can't do this. I don't care how good you look, how pretty you are, how fat your ass is. I love myself more than to be taking on all this, emotional abuse. Believe it or not, men get emotionally abused a lot, and we don't talk about it. We just laugh it off, or smoke, or drink, or hit the gym. Do whatever we need to take our mind off it. So, gentlemen out there, if you are one of these people who feel like, damn, why do I get treated like this? Like, I'm not worthy of love. It's not that. The person who's talking to you like that is not talking to you. They're talking from a place of pain that they haven't been able to resolve. So don't take it personal. Take a step back. Look in the mirror and remind yourself who you are and what you have to bring to the table. And for the females out there who have, men in their life who's done them wrong, who's cheated on them, who's put their hands on them, who's emotionally abused them, I pray that you have a big brother or a family member to make sure nothing like that ever happens again, because there's no man in this world that should ever put his hands on a woman or talk down to a woman. But do better. Just because, you've dated 1 or 2 or 3 men who had similar characteristics, and you're like, oh, fuck, excuse my language, all men ain't shit, they're all the same. Start asking yourself, are all men the same, or am I dating the same type of men? Take accountability for a second. Because if I didn't take accountability, I would be very ignorant and say, bitches ain't shit. I don't think like that. I think, okay, maybe I have some poor decision-making skills. I need to take a step back, reevaluate, am I healed or am I hurt? Am I really the man I want to be, or do I have more work to do? And when you take that accountability and that action, that initiative to actually propel in life, you will no longer tolerate what used to hurt you. So with that being said, this is episode 1. I plan on making many more videos, and I'm actually really excited about this. So whoever's tuning in, I appreciate the feedback, the comments. There will be more topics, more guest celebrities too, influencers. Shout out to the YouTubers I met out here just the other week. Pretty cool people. But I'm going to have a lot of people, and a bunch of different topics. So I hope you guys stay tuned. Hope everybody enjoys these shows. And check out my music too. I'm not trying to pivot, but I do music too. But for the most part, we'll be talking about a lot of controversial stuff. Things that will make people's blood boil. Not intentionally, but I feel like people need to have uncomfortable conversations in order to progress. We will be talking about politics. We will be talking about relationships. We will be talking about the pay gap that they say exists. No pun intended. So, like I said, your feedback is very appreciated. I appreciate you, and I hope you guys enjoy your day, guys and women.